Good morning. Welcome to World War II weekend. We have with us here on stage three gentlemen that were Tuskegee Airmen. I'd like to give just a little bit of background on the Tuskegee Airmen, and I'll introduce these three gentlemen. On January 16, 1941, the War Department announced the African Americans would be allowed to become Air Corps pilots. An all-black unit, the 99th Pursuit Squadron, was activated with 35 candidates chosen from the civilian pilot training program. Tuskegee, Alabama was chosen as the training site. By mid-1942, Tuskegee Army Airfield was home to about 217 officers and enlisted men. The record of the Tuskegee graduates was outstanding. 450 pilots flew during World War II, completing 1,500 missions, destroying 111 enemy aircraft in the air and about 150 on the ground. To fill in all those details that I probably left out here in this real quick intro to Tuskegee Airmen are three gentlemen with us today. The first, to my left, is Henry Moore, Crew Chief, 332nd Fighter Group. He is also President of the Philadelphia chapter of Tuskegee Airmen. We also have with us in the middle Eugene Richardson. He was a pilot with the 99th Squadron. And we also have Ed Powell, who was a pilot with the 332nd. I'd like to first give these guys a big round of applause. You're welcome. Okay, I'd like to first introduce Henry Moore.
Hello, yes. We have another one stepping up here. This is Bert Levy. He was with the 477 Bombardment Group. Those guys that served here tremendously while some of us were overseas. They didn't have a chance to go overseas, but they fought a harder battle and won here in the United States. You start any one of us talking, and you're going to have to sit here all day listening to us, and don't tell us what we're here to say. What we'll do is just introduce ourselves and call for questions first. Well, I'm, as I said, Henry Moore, Greater Philadelphia chapter, the president of the chapter, and we gave a banquet last night, and that banquet was tremendous. It was celebrating the 60th anniversary of the greatest achievement of the Tuskegee Airmen, which was the escort of 15th Air Force heavy bombers up over Europe out of Ramitelli Air Base in Italy. That's where we operated from. Over a period of about 2 years, 1944 and 45, over 200 missions after we left Capitolina Airport and went over to Ramitelli and the 15th Air Force, to over 200 missions without the loss of a single bomber to enemy aircraft fire. That's the achievement, unsurpassed, which will never be achieved again because we don't fight those kinds of wars anymore. On the boat going over in 1944 was the second wave of the Tuskegee Airmen, and that's the wave that we are celebrating today. But we do have a bomber crew here, a person here that's going to talk about that greatest achievement. We don't want to leave that out, and our speaker last night did not leave that out, did he? He did not leave that out, and we appreciate that. The struggles of the 477 Bombardment Group, the all-black bombardment group that never did go overseas. Did you know that there was not I read it, I didn't know I was overseas, but I was a crew chief at the 332nd Fighter Group overseas, and I understand that they didn't allow there be a single, well, I'll put it this way, Colonel Selway, who was a racist colonel, over the white colonel over the 477 Bombardment Group, required that all crew chiefs be white. I'm missing a tooth in that, just having a problem there. He required that all crew chiefs be white, and I want Bert to speak to that if he doesn't forget it, because we did have pride. There were 64 of us that went overseas as crew chiefs. Well, 450 pilots that went overseas with us, and those are the ones that we are really celebrating today. the achievements of those pilots and that crew that went over. There's nobody else to introduce, but I want everybody to come over and say something. Now, this is not organized in any particular way, but I want each one to come up and say something who wants to say something, and then we call for questions.